All video content are used for fair use purposes for educational purpose only.
Will not shy to restrict any right to the extent of the House recognizes, protects and safeguards the sovereignty of this country, the morals of this country, the cultures, and will always legislate for our people. That is what the majority have done today in this House, the 389 members of Parliament.
We will have our morals, we will protect our children, and we are making this law. We are making this law for ourselves, we are making this law for our children, we are making this law for the children of our children. This country will stand firm. And once it passed, I can tell you, Madam Speaker, we are going to reinforce the law enforcement officers to make sure that homosexuals have no space in Uganda.
Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has described gay people as deviant and called for an investigation into homosexuality as lawmakers in the conservative East African nation prepare to vote on an anti-LGBT bill. Museveni made the remarks in a State of the Nation address before lawmakers on Thursday.
The homosexuals are deviations from normal. This deviant, is he deviant by nature or by nurture? We need a medical opinion on that.
The bill comes as conspiracy theories accusing shadowy international forces of promoting homosexuality gain traction on social media in Uganda.
The Western countries should stop wasting the time of humanity by trying to impose their practices on other peoples.
Under the proposed law, anyone who engages in same-sex activity or who identifies as LGBTQ could face up to 10 years imprisonment.
We have grave concerns with the passage of the Anti-Homosexuality Act, AHA, by the Parliament of Uganda yesterday, and increasing violence targeting LGBTQI+ persons. If the AHA is signed into law and enacted, it would impinge upon universal human rights, jeopardize progress in the fight against HIV/AIDS, deter tourism, and invest in Uganda and damage Uganda's international reputation. The bill is one of the most extreme anti-LGBTQI+ laws in the world. Human rights are universal. No one should be attacked, imprisoned, or killed simply because of who they are or whom they love.
This is the Parliament passing it. It still has some process to go here. We're certainly watching this real closely, and we would have to take a look at whether or not there might be repercussions that we would have to take, perhaps in an economic way, should this law actually get passed and enacted. That would be really unfortunate because so much of the economic assistance that we provide Uganda is health assistance, and largely through PEPFAR. You can see a world in which a law like this, should it be enacted, would not only, as Karine rightly said, just be devastating to a whole community of people inside Uganda, but if it were to have any kind of an effect on our economic assistance, that would only make that worse. So we'll have to take a look. No decisions.
Peace and love and black power. Peace, love, and black power to the black family around the globe. Peace and love to the black family around the globe. This is Underground Warrior TV. If this is your first time tuning into my channel, won't you go ahead and mash up the likes, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit the notification bell at the bottom so you will always be in the crosshairs when I drop one of these videos. What up, black fam? We back banging on that beast like we always do. We back banging on the beats. I'm going to give you a little time to go grab that blunt, roll you a blunt or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Before we go in on this particular topic. Go on and get you a beverage. If you need something to drink, go on and get it, because we're going to go in tonight. We're going to prove our position on what I'm speaking on. You feel what I'm saying? You know, the European has never respected other culture of peoples when they go into a particular land. When they go as invaders, they always get rid of the culture. When they want to fully control the people that it come in contact with, it wants to control the culture. What I mean, when you have original people or native of a particular land, when the European gets there, the European has to change the custom, the culture, get the people a religion so they can fully control the people. And there's a significance why the government of America is pushing the gay agenda around the globe. It's called population control. We have to understand why is America is worried about Afrika being an anti-LBGTQ. I don't know if I said that right, but they in Africa, which is my brothers and sisters, push back against the gay agenda. America, the West, is very upset by that particular the particular culture of Africa not to practice homosexuality. You have to understand homosexuality came from the Greco-Roman era of homosexuality. It started with the Greeks and the Romans. You could go back and read their history and find out where this homosexuality came into play and why is this part of government. It was part of the Roman government, the Greek government. Homosexuality was legalized. What back in those days? The Greek freaks. Okay. Now, this past March 21st, which was Tuesday, Uganda's president or Ugandan people passed an anti-homosexuality act, ordering harsh penalties for anyone engaging in same-sex activity. This is just a stiffer law because the law has always been in place in Uganda. You remember when the president, the black president, the so-called black president, when he came into office, that was an international mandate for him to get the presidents of Africa to engage in this homosexual activity. Why is the government of America or the Western world is pushing homosexuality on a country or a continent who do not actually practice homosexual activity? Not until they came in contact with the Europeans. You have over 54, at least 54 countries on the continent of the Mother Earth or Mother Country. Maybe 22 of those 54 allow homosexuality because why? Of the West. The West put sanctions on governments in Africa who do not practice homosexuality. It's not part of African culture. And this is why I can speak on this. This is not an anti-homosexual video. It's just not part of African culture. So by me being a member of the African race, I can speak on this particular subject. It's not our culture. So I feel comfortable defending Uganda's president. Yoweri Museveni, which is Uganda's president, made a speech. So why is the West? This is the West problem. The West engage in homosexual activity. Why push it up on African nations? It's crazy, man. So The United States pledged not to help Uganda with its foreign aid. Whatever economically that these two nations engage in for its economics, when that particular economic package will not go to the Ugandans because the Ugandans refuse homosexuality in a country who do not practice homosexuality. The U.S. expresses concern over Uganda's anti-homosexuality law, warns African nations of repercussions. What is the repercussions? Embargoes. That's the first thing the white man does when he gets in a situation where African nations or anyone of African descent disagree with the ruling class. The ruling class, they get mad and take their money, the money that they print. They want to hit you economically. They start economically first before they dispose of you, before they delete you. So some of these African nations, such as Kenya's president, William Ruto of Kenya, they all denounce homosexual activity. So these particular presidents got to be careful when dealing with the West. Now, why is the West pushing this homosexual agenda on Africa? It's called population control. It's nothing but a population control tactic. Why are you people in the West want to push this homosexual activity on the Africans who for many millions of years did not practice homosexuality until coming in contact with European people? It's a fact. Because the African believes in procreation. What's the word that I want to say? Polygamy is the word that I want to talk about. Polygamy is an African culture, whether you want to believe it or not. You look at it from a perverted standpoint because you live in the West. Your mind is twisted. You know, oh, that's some pimp shit for a man to have more than one wife when it's all dealing with the progeny, the people. There's no old folks home in Africa. Who's going to take care of the elder? The elders. The elders give the wisdom to the youngsters. The youngsters take care of the elders in old age. This is why you might think it's simple-minded for the Africans to believe in procreation. This is part of Africans' culture, is to have babies. And if you worried about population control as a European, you're going to push all kinds of agendas to try to stop the growth and population of African people. And that's what's going on around the world. You got to understand, I told you people, look up the 1974 National Security Studies memorandum. I told y'all to look up NNSM 200, implication of worldwide population growth for USA security and overseas interests. This is the Kissinger report. I told you to look up the Kissinger report. And the Africans have always been under some type of population control by the West, either with Ebola, AIDS, polio, anything they can introduce to the African to stop the African from growing, from the population from growing. So how is the West? You know, you got the United Nations telling Africa, if you do not accept this gay agenda, we will snatch foreign aid. We will put sanctions on your country so you can't make money. Ain't that a bitch? But this is how the white man deals with the African. How come the the European won't take out its time to repair and restore these African nations that they tore down through imperialism and colonialism. Why we're not talking about that? You're talking about a homosexual culture that does not exist in Africa. Homosexual cultures did not exist in Africa till the Europeans visit. Because it's a European way of life. And I'm not capping. You could go back and look up the Roman Greco, type in Roman Greco homosexuality. This is part of their custom. If it's part of their customs, African people are not trying to change the Western world's culture as it deals with homosexuality. So why try to change and displace the culture of African people? It's not fair. It's crazy, man. It's not fair, man. Right here it says, already the Netherlands have frozen over $9 million in aid to Uganda, with Denmark and Norway doing the same thing. And it has $8.5 million budget. They're not going to deal with the Ugandans because the Ugandans do not practice homosexuality. And if you caught practicing homosexuality in Uganda, it's a harsh penalty. Some people may be jailed, prison, even put to death. I suggest you pack up your bags and go somewhere else in Africa. They got 22 countries who bow down to the West for that money, letting homosexuality run rapid through their countries. Go there. It's not an African culture. Why is the West forcing their culture up on the African people? This is not a bang on the gay community. It does not, being gay does not offer nothing to the rise of Black people. Here's the people trying to depopulate the African continent. And the only way they can stop the procreation of the continent is same sex. If you're having sex with the same people, the same sex, if you're having sex with the same sex, there's no way that you're going to be able to procreate. Along with keeping Africans poor, destabilizing the country, resources, and using them for your manipulation, the West, you're using their resources for your manipulation. I'll be damned if the motherfucking Africans gonna bow down and accept your gay agenda to depopulate the African people. That's what it's all about. Even the African nations know that the government of America is up to depopulate the population of African people. It's just a proven fact. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy. Homosexuality being forced upon an African culture who has not practiced homosexuality in years. Millions of years, these people never practiced homosexuality until the visit of the motherfucking Caucasian. It's not fair for you to force your culture up on me. In African countries, I stand with you for the procreation of our people. The European practicing this depopulation of African people. See, this is what this all about. You need to open your eyes up, Black people, and see what's going on around you. Because our African leaders in Africa are waking up slowly but surely. The gay agenda in Africa is not about human rights. It's not about human rights. It's about to depopulate African people. There's a plot to get rid of African people worldwide. There's an anti-African movement going on amongst Black people in America. Black people practice killing each other in America. So we're going to pick up the baton of homosexuality and take it to Africa. Boom. Africans are not going for it. I stand with the Africans. It's about the population growth of our people, our existence up on the planet. It's not about destabilizing the family unit. See, this messes up the normal family unit. The Africans know this is abnormal for two men to have sex, two women to have sex without procreating. This is not a bang on the homosexual community. This is about the life and survival of African people. Homosexuality has nothing to do with the culture of African people, flat out. It has nothing to lend to the struggle and the prosperity to African people. Yeah, you've been discriminated against. But the whole race, the majority of our people being oppressed because of the skin that we in. So you double oppressed. If you're homosexual and you're Black, you're double oppressed. Because the whole race of our people are under a wicked rule of a wicked people who want to disseminate. They want to annihilate, decimate, eradicate Black people from the planet. And we ain't going nowhere because we came to this planet first. We was here first. We are original people of the earth. We the majority on the earth. So homosexuality got nothing to do with human rights. It's got something to do with the destabilizing the population growth of Black people worldwide, especially in Africa, where the majority of African people, it's billions of people in Africa, and they're mad. Not a billion, but billions of Black people in Africa and around the globe. We the majority on the earth. So I stand with the African leaders. I stand with the African leaders. You feel what I'm saying? Homosexuality upon African people and stop the growth of African people worldwide. That's why they promote homosexuality. They put a Black man in the dress in this country. You feel what I'm saying? Now they got the little kids dressing like homosexuals. I hate to say that. With the new style and dressing with the skinny jeans. Never seen a Black man dressed the way they dress the Black men now in this country. I'm talking about Gucci to Louis. All the top name brands have customized these clothes for Black men, and they're gay. All they got to do is put them on the rappers. Put them on the entertainers. I think Lil Wayne, I thought, was the first person I saw in the skinny jeans. And he rapped about being in the skinny jeans. That's gay. I don't care what you say. You know. It's gay. They promote homosexuality in the schools. You know, they teach it to the kids. The kids don't even have a right to make a choice because they've been bombarded with it every day. Every day they're being bombarded with homosexual activity. And let the kids make their own choice. Y'all promoting it all over the world. Now you want the Africans to accept it. But it's not part of an African custom, not part of Africans' culture, not part of Africans' religion. Hey, peace and Black power. Mash up the likes, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.